Oh hi. You've just caught me relaxing after finishing an Ironman. Now for those of you who don't know, an Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim followed by a 112 mile cycle, all topped off with a marathon. Now I did all of this to raise money for the Cystic Fibrosis Trust, but more on that later. So grab yourself some popcorn, pour yourself some Pepsi Max and enjoy this video. Cheers. Now when it comes to introducing a video about something like the Ironman, it's really important to get the music choice right. So you could start off with some sort of classical broody string music. Or you could plump for something more modern and go for some of the aggressive stuff.
Labrinth, come in. Ladies and gentlemen.
But if you really wanted to capture the mood on the day of the majority of athletes and their supporters who have no hope of finishing near the top of the pile, you'd be much better off going for something like this.
What time are we? 10 to 5. Iron breakfast is what we call it.
A bit nervous. I haven't slept at all.
It's overrated.
Not one job. Yeah. I'm telling myself.
What is the breakfast, champ? What's the having?
Dorset cereals.
Oh.
Yeah, nice bit of Dorset.
I don't know if we can say that. It constitutes advertising.
You alright then?
Yes.
You gave us a heart attack. Think about the last
We thought we'd lost you.
Really? Oh, we're planning to go in the sea pretty much at last.
Oh, right.
This is where you expect to find us for the majority of the race. Let others blaze
If
the
one of
trail.
us is near the front, it's because we've taken a wrong turn.
Cheers then.
Enjoy. You're
Yeah.
doing it because you want
Oh, yeah.
Good luck, honey.
Thanks, Fox. That'll be the last time I'm not sweaty.
Okay. Bye, guys. We'll look out for you, the ones in the black suits, right? Cool.
Sunday morning, I'm waking up. Can't even focus on a coffee cup. Don't even know whose bed I'm in. Where do I start? Where do I begin? Where do I start? Where do I begin? Where do I start? Where do I begin?
So having waited for what seemed like 2 hours for the 10-minute countdown to pass, the cannon went. I shook hands with Will and started wandering into the water. It was complete carnage for the first 300 metres or so.
We're in there somewhere, guys.
Everyone was pretty much doggy paddling as there were arms and legs all over the place. Still, it wasn't aggressive in any way. Nobody latched hold of any limbs to drag themselves over the top of me, so nothing like some of the nightmare mass swim starts you hear about. This was my first triathlon, so it was also the first time I'd done any kind of swimming in a group, and it was remarkable how much of a difference it made. It felt like I was swimming down a river, especially at the turns where everyone came together again. Mentally, it really helped having the boys to aim for. You could forget about the overall distance and focus on just getting to the next one, which helped to break the swim down. The loudspeakers were also great, as you'd hear the commentary getting quieter or louder, and so you could judge where you got to. The inane chat also helped break the monotony of swimming. Anyway, enough from me. Here's what my incredibly insightful supporters had to say about it all.
There they are. Our boys are in there somewhere. Somewhere they're in there. God knows where. Awesome atmosphere here, isn't there, Rosie?
Very good atmosphere.
Oh my god, it's like a sea of mackerel. Holy shit. Oh, sorry, that's on tape.
Those bastards are really flying. It's mental.
And somewhere up there is the lifeboat station that was on
Americano.
I lost track of time and the lap seemed to come and go pretty quickly. When I came out of the water for the second time, I still felt fresh, which was pleasantly surprising. Doubly pleasing was the thought that I'd never have to swim again. It was by far the biggest drag for me in training. Swimming laps is just seriously dull, and I don't think I'll ever understand the attraction.
Here comes Ned! 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 Woo! Woo! How's the swim? How much water did you swallow?
It was fine.
Yeah?
It was like being stuck in one of those kids' rapid whirlpool things.
Yeah?
Just get swept around everything.
So it was easier than normal?
Way
You've done it in just over an hour?
Really?
Just over an hour. Yeah, yeah.
That's way
yeah.
quicker than I thought it was going to be. Well,
So on, Ned! See you in a bit!
So I guess now seems like a pretty good time for an update. Roughly, what am I? About 10 miles in to the bike. I've been overtaken a lot. I haven't done a lot of overtaking myself. I'm trying to just take it easy really. I'm freewheeling all the way down hills. Still a bit surprised by how fast I swam, to be honest. Got a bit of a pain in my stomach. I'm not entirely sure whether that's just from swallowing too much seawater or whether it's something a bit more serious. I'm going to try not eating much for the next half hour or so and just see how it goes.
The bike course was a 2-lap affair, with the second lap being a repeat of the lumpiest 40 miles or so at the first. Unfortunately, that meant that the only flat miles we had were the first 30, and even half of those were into a pretty stiff headwind. Not as bad as the year before, where the competitors had to put up with the tail end of a hurricane, but still not exactly ideal.
Yeah, little one. That wasn't fun.
When I was riding down the hill in the video now, which was by a beach near Angle, the strength of the crosswind off the sea made it pretty difficult to stay upright. It must have been damn near impossible on a set of full disc wheels. People were out in force to spectate, and the support we got was out of this world, definitely helping to make the whole thing a hell of a lot more bearable. The noise of bells clanging instantly reminds me of it all, so here are a couple of taster clips going through some of the smaller villages as well as the bigger towns.
talk about when it comes to Ironman racing. The fact that a lot of it is pretty boring. And what, 25k in, flat road, nice countryside, but you know, I'm not even a sixth of the way yet. Oh well, just keep on trucking. I'm sure it's going to be worth it at the end.
It's a little known fact that at all Ironman events there is a parallel endurance sport taking place, being a spectator. Here's what my supporters saw of me in nearly 8 hours of cycling.
That's it!
And here's that same enthralling clip from a slightly different angle.
Oh, he's so cute. Got him. That was Ned. Yeah.
The bike leg is basically just one long slog where you're desperately trying not to let any lactic acid creep into your legs or let your heart rate climb too high. That's quite difficult on such a hilly course, but that's what low gears are for, I guess. You've also got to eat enough food so that you don't completely crash on the marathon to come. My food of choice is caramel digestives, but they were giving out Gatorade, bananas and power bars at the aid stations. It might sound strange, but after hours of eating sugary foods, I really craved a Marmite and cheese sandwich. I'd love to do a study looking at the teeth of long course triathletes. I'm sure they're all completely rotten. Anyway, in the only way I know how, here's a montage of those lovely lumps, bumps and rain clouds.
You're the one that I've kept closest. Hi.
You know what? This was going to be a serious bit, but I really can't resist. By the end of the ride, I was a little cold and wet, but still feeling pretty strong. My approach of taking it easy for the first half of the ride had definitely paid off, and although my legs were a little achy, they were certainly no worse for wear than on any of my longer training rides. In the last 20 kilometres though, disaster struck. I got 3 punctures. The first I replaced with the spare tube I was carrying, but despite all my tyre changing practice as a London living cyclist, my cold hands couldn't for the life of them feel what had caused it. I desperately crossed my fingers and hoped that the tube would hold. What I didn't account for though was the fact that I'm a complete muppet and would choose to fix the puncture in a bramble patch. So 5 kilometres or so down the road, the rim was bumping off the floor again as I had a thorn sticking through the sidewall. I now had no inner tubes left, so I had to scrimp one from another competitor. This next one lasted for another 10 kilometres, but like buses, punctures seemed to come in threes, and I presume that whatever had caused the first puncture now caused the third as well. I managed to flag another person down for some gas cartridges, and as it seemed reasonably slow release, I decided that instead of changing tubes again, I'd ride for a kilometre, put air in, sprint off, wait till the rim was on the floor again, and repeat until the end, which is what you can see me doing in the video now. It was a lot of faff, but I was never that bothered as I didn't have any time goals, and Sod's Law had pretty much made sure it would happen to me at some point. Unfortunately, I don't have any names, but massive thanks to the 2 competitors who stopped and gave me their kit, and also to the safety marshal who checked I was okay. Hugely appreciated, and without your help, I certainly wouldn't have finished. The best thing about coming back into Tempe was seeing my supporters who were dotted around the place. It'd been nearly 8 hours since I'd last clapped eyes on them, and it was really uplifting to see a friendly face or two. Finishing cycling was a relief, mainly because running meant that I'd be able to warm up again. I got so cold standing around that I'd started to shiver, and that had made for some alarmingly wobbly downhills. More than anything though, I was just pleased to be rolling over the line in one piece.
It's a blind thing, a cruel waste, one bitter day. So I know I need
That's 3 punctures.
Oh my god.
3.
3 punctures! That's really lucky. I'll catch up with you.
Smile for the camera! Yeah! You beautiful bugger.
3 punctures.
Oh, bollocks. Have a good run. Well done, mate. Keep going.
The silver lining of my puncture problems was that my legs didn't feel too bad off the bike. They'd had around 45 minutes or so of not cycling to recover somewhat. What I did feel though was an overwhelming sense of not really being too keen on running a marathon right then. In this respect, Ironman racing strikes me as requiring a siege mentality. Your head asks your body to keep moving and you desperately hope that your body can sustain what's being asked of it for long enough to get to the finish line.
Ned's going to be trotting up the hill in a moment, so we're going to scream.
Yeah. He's waving to someone else.
Having a little trot ski. Keep trotting! How are you feeling? Average. Trot on! Keep going!
To be honest.
Overly average, I would say. Overly average. Overly average.
I'd like someone to just turn around and go, I'm a little bit bored.
Oh, Neddy Bear, how you doing? Woo! This is the weirdest video ever.
Love it. Ned's had a bit of an unfortunate first outing. Iron experience. Although he is very proficient at changing tyres.
Yes! Yes!
The run course was made up of 4 loops around Tenby. On the plus side, this meant that you had plenty of opportunities to see your supporters, but this was hugely overshadowed by the fact that you were running on the same course as people who were nearly finished. You're given a coloured band to mark which lap you're on, and the envy was almost palpable as the slow kids like me gazed longingly at the quick kids who'd picked up their hallowed pink and final band.
Ned, wave!
By the second lap, things had taken a turn for the worse. Despite sticking to the same food and drink I'd used in training on the bike, my stomach decided that it had had enough and turned off. I couldn't eat or drink anything without it coming straight back out, in both directions, which meant that I ended up running the last 30 kilometres or so with no nutrition or hydration whatsoever. In fact, the run started to feel less like a marathon and more like a trot between Tenby's Portaloos. Without getting too graphic, there were times when it was either slow down or very publicly embarrass myself.
Just less happy after the second.
Ned! Stomach completely shut down.
Is it?
What's cut down?
Stomach.
Keep trying forward.
3 favourite things about Ironman?
You know what? Any.
You what?
Don't have any.
Nothing favourite?
The end.
Think of the fish and chips. How much pain are you in?
So much.
So much pain. Do you want to cry?
By the time I got onto my final lap, the night had pretty much come in and we were running on a floodlit course. Without having had any calories for several hours, I was running on fumes and the only thing that kept me going was support in all its various guises. My friends and family, other competitors, and of course the locals who came out to cheer. The kids would stick their hands out for high fives, and every time you gave one, their parents would thank you profusely, not realising how much of a lift it was giving you. I was wearing a shirt with the Cystic Fibrosis Trust logo on it, and one family who was standing at the end of their drive clearly had some connection with them, as every time I came past, their daughter, who must have been about 7 or 8, would shout, "Here he comes! Keep going, Mr. Cystic Fibrosis!" By the time I got within spitting distance of the end, I started feeling relief more than any other emotion through the pain. As my luck would have it though, the battery on the camera died literally just before the last corner, so here's the final footage from Duncan and Nick.
Come on, Neddy! Yes! You've done it!
Come on now, your good friends are here waiting this one out. You've gotta come back down. You've gotta come back down. Look
and he's extremely tired. Feels a bit faint. Feels a bit odd. We're just going to take like 5-10 minutes. Can you just, I know you're really suffering, but just really briefly sum up how awful that was.
Well, it wasn't awful until the run, and then I basically did a tour of St. Portaloos.
Oh yeah?
Which wasn't what I planned to do.
No.
But, you know.
Did they have enough toilet paper?
Yes, they did.
Well, that's
thank
good.
God. And I can think of worse ways of spending Sunday.
Like what?
Siberian prison camp.
What do you want to do right now? What's like top of your priority list?
Start feeling a bit more normal, and then I kind of fancy a bowl of cereal.
Bowl of cereal? Yeah, that's standard. So, to all the wannabe Ironmen out there, what's your piece of advice?
Have a damn good reason for doing it.
And what's your reason?
Raising money for the CF Trust.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to get back to you later when you're a bit more chirpy. So give me a thumbs up and show me your medal. Show me the shine. Show me the bling. Whoop whoop. Well, it's more rustic, isn't it, really? Cheers.